Hello, welcome to this week's episode of the Combat Chatters podcast. In this week, we're going to be going over the previous week's fight night as well as the upcoming UFC card, which is UFC 295. Last week, the main card.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, I rated the card. I thought it was okay. I don't think you thought it was as good as I did.
In fairness, when you have, what was it, 2 or 3 cancellations?
Yeah.
And especially when they're like Ismail Bonfim as well, which was probably going to be one of the best fights in the card.
Yeah.
Main card.
We are joined by Harry today as well.
Hi.
What was your thoughts? Bonfim missing weight, kind of unprofessional.
I was gutted to hear that he missed weight. I thought it was very unprofessional, especially considering his older brother managed, or young. I think it's older brother.
Maybe young. I don't know. They're both young.
Yeah, they're both young anyway. Anyway, his brother managed to make the weight, so he had no excuse really.
And I think they've been on every card together so far.
They haven't fought separately yet, have they?
And I think that might have played, not anything to do with his brother's loss, but when is it Ishmael who fell off?
Oh, Ismail, yep.
Yeah. So when your brother falls off, you're both pumped up to be fighting on that card together. So I'm sure that was gutting for him, and then he watches him lose as well, which drops it in even more.
Yeah.
But one fight that did come up from the prelims onto the main card, Albus Brenner, just been so impressive since he's coming to the UFC. His last fight got the late stoppage comeback win against Kutaladze, and in this fight, one of the most brutal one-punch knockouts you'll see. It didn't even look like it clipped him clean, just straight behind the ear. How impressed were you with him, Vogel?
So overall, looking at the fight, it was definitely a fight which I think Elvis was having a bit of trouble in, especially breaking through. Something which he does often is like he breaks through to his opponents, and I feel like Qureshi definitely provided a bit of resistance there. He was countering as well, something which Elvis definitely had to be cautious of. But the finish, like you said, just behind the ear, he was definitely going for the chin.
Yeah. But
he slipped past it, and it just tapped him on the ear, and it was a great finish. Overall, a really good performance. It was a good performance from Kane as well.
Yeah, he took on super short notice as well. Was it his first fight in the UFC? I think it might have been. So, just hats off to him.
Fought a catch weight as well.
Yeah. Fighters from that team as well, Shootbox in Brazil. Oliveira trains there. There's the guy who fought Manuel Cape on short notice. They are just sort of a different breed. It's kind of like, reminds me of when the Israel Adesany's team, Eugene Berriman, sort of started breaking through, and all of them just getting big wins together. How excited are you to see that gym moving forward, Harry, considering they've got so much prospects now?
I'm very excited to see what they're going to do in the future.
Yeah, I mean, you think about Nascimento and all these other great fighters, which they all kind of have the same style as well.
They do. They are all very similar, but it seems to be working very well for them. So you can't complain, can you?
I mean, Charles kind of set a line for that, and it's just all of them kind of have that crazy like jiu-jitsu style with just sort of reckless abandonment in the striking as well. He's looking to take your head off. So yeah, super impressed with him, and every time he fights, I'm just so excited to see what he does. But getting on to the next fight, what was the next one on the card, Fo?
It was Kai.
Abus won it. What do you think?
What, Ciao Barallo or Kiao Barallo?
Yeah. So this one here, it's kind of played out how I expected it to. I was thinking maybe a finish, but
I thought a lot more grappling would have took place though.
Yeah, to be fair, I think these are fighters which fighters like Abus are going to have a hard time against.
Yeah.
He's very much a fighter who takes it a bit slower when it comes down to the striking. He likes to manage that distance a bit, and Caio Barallo, he's just on you.
Yeah, he was... Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Sorry, carry on, what were you going to say?
Yeah, he's usually a little more reckless, and like, that was all I was going to input. Yeah.
But yeah, no, this fight overall, I mean, it's a hard one for Abus, really. It's a hard fight to fight, especially in Brazil as well.
Yeah.
Like, it's a big thing to take into account. When you're fighting in Brazil and you're being booed and everyone else being cheered, I imagine it's something which definitely has an impact. Even when the grappling is not on the Brazilian side, you can hear the boos. You can hear every time something happens which isn't favourable, there's a big boo. Overall, though, this is... Yeah, really exciting fight. I was surprised it lasted to a decision.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I think Abus is kind of known for gas now because we saw him against Sean Strickland, obviously, just broke in that second round. I was actually kind of impressed with him. I gave him the first round. I think they scored it 30-27 though. But it was a good fight, and Barallo to, go out and prove that he can strike too, because it's been heavily grappling so far. For him to probably outstrike him in most of the rounds, it was just super impressive as well. So that's what I got to say about him.
Next one is going to be the Rodrigo Nascimento Ferreira versus the Dontel Mays fight. This was a good fight. It was a shame, really. I want to see more from Dontel, though. I don't feel like he was active enough, and you could tell that he was just trying to counter.
Yeah.
I feel like the more we've seen him lately, he's been like that more and more. He's not the same. He's not the same. He used to throw some massive bombs at people. We've seen him knock out some really good fighters as well. So it is a little disappointing because we know he can do it. And I had a bit of a stinky call last week because I didn't come on the podcast, but I called for Dante Miles to knock him out, just hoping that it would happen. Really, it'd be nice to see him get back onto some sort of win streak.
Yeah, I mean, in his last fight before this one, he looked really impressive. I mean, knocking out Andrei Arlovski. But even in that fight, Arlovski was not getting the better of him, but he was winning a lot of the exchanges. Dontel Mays is a tricky customer, he loves to slip those big shots and throw at weird angles. And I was actually kind of impressed with him after these guys fought a few years ago and he gets finished in the second round.
So, that was impressive.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
Like, he survived, and the shots he took I was for sure thinking he was going to get knocked out in the first round.
Yeah, he wasn't taking no light shots.
No, heavy shots. And he survived. His question mark kick is almost as notorious as Ben Askren's spinning back fist.
He was not enjoying that either. No. That whole fight, he was not enjoying being hit with that.
No, but so overall, I thought Dontel Mays was actually pretty impressive.
Yeah, you can tell he's improved.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. You look at the last fight, I feel like both fighters have improved, but Dontel is a lot more visible because he has just been performing better and better, and it's just his striking overall. I thought his grappling as well.
Yeah.
Like the way he was defending his takedowns and his work in the clinch, in contrast to what we've seen of him beforehand, it really has shown like improvement in leaps and bounds. Because Rodrigo, if he wants to take you down, he's taking you down.
Yeah.
With this though, he just wasn't active enough, and when you get into round 2, round 3, and you're still trying to counter punch like that, even though you're being what appears to be dominated, it's just not great to see, really.
I mean, I think you're being a little harsh. I do see your point, but I mean, they're massive guys at heavyweight, and the punishment he took in the first round, his cardio looked decent, and to be fair, for a heavyweight of this sort of fight, you'd think it'd be over quickly. They went at it for 3 rounds, and I think you got to give him credit for that also.
Got to give him credit, but at the same time, I feel like Rodrigo, looking at him, he knew he wasn't getting close. Like, he knew he didn't need to because he was winning the fight.
Yeah.
And to not be really pushing for that.
Some sort of lack of killer instinct, in my opinion.
Yeah, he does have that.
Yeah.
I agree. Dontel Mays, kind of, in most of his UFC fights, kind of just every time he's on the back foot, kind of looking for, like you say, counter shots, which I do agree with, and that's where I do see your point, but I think we do have to give him credit for how he is improving. He's a hard guy to fight. Like you can look at him and he's got some decent skills he can use, but Nascimento just looked really good since he joined the UFC, and I think that's just a better fighter, maybe.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Next fight, big upset. Nicolas Dalby getting his first finish in the UFC.
I just want to say, I actually called this.
Yeah.
If you ask Robbie, he will tell you that I came up to him and I said Nicolas Dalby was going to win, but I said by decision. I thought he would just be able to take everything and just grind on him a little bit more. I was not expecting a KO there. If that were TKO, that was mental.
I do remember you sort of pointing towards Nicolas Dalby as well, which I don't think anyone else would.
I wish I'd bet on it, man, because I like always the ones that I don't, or like not bet, but like verdict bet or something like that. The ones that I always think that I should bet on and then don't do, they always win.
Yeah, and he did do what you said he was going to do. He took Bonfim's biggest shots because in the first round they were in the pocket exchanging, and he was taking. I mean,
he's got a chin, man.
He
like,
does.
Hell of a chin.
I don't think he's ever been finished. So
no, I loved that fight. I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah, and he just marches forward. He loses the first round, but you can see straight away he's looking to put Bonfim in a firefight and break him, and that's exactly what he did. The finishing sequence pretty brutal as well. What were your thoughts, Bogle?
So I think something you said as well, Harry, was about him getting gassed out, Bonfim, and he gassed out so quickly. Really,
Yeah.
after the first round, he was
That's
done.
the thing. We've never seen him
Push.
We've never seen him pushed. We've never seen him go full length for the fight. So yeah, sorry Fergal, carry
His
on.
first loss, though, and it's
Yeah.
really interesting because Darby, at the pace he puts on, you can see Darby's cardio as well.
Yeah, it's
To
insane.
think that you finish an opponent like that and you look like you've just stood up from staying down.
37 is he as well, I'm pretty sure, which is crazy.
He's getting up there. But looking at it, it's a really impressive performance. And Gabriel Bonfim, I think I said that I expected for him to just be a bit too much. And I'd say it was, that obviously wasn't the case too. But they were both on it from the get-go. And I think showing that you have that cardio and the experience as well. I mean, Bonfim has his first loss. He's never been out the first round. Very impressive performance, really, and it would be exciting to see where he goes from now. Like you said, though, he is getting up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like going back to something Finn said at the start of us talking about all of this is his brother missed weight, so he was not fighting on the card with him, which could have affected the way he performed as well.
Mood.
Like the mood, and the willingness to go out and actually want to do it. But at the end of the day, you've been training for that long. It's
not going to have a big impact.
It's not going to have a massive impact. You should be doing better. But like, he's an up and comer. He's looked sick so far, and I'm excited. So excited to see what he does in the future.
Yeah,
I think Dalby was just a bad pick for him on the day.
I mean, Dalby straight away looked to put him in that fight. But, you know, to be 15-0, now 15-1, but all finishes, I think only one leaving the first round maybe. I could be wrong on that, but, you know, it just shows how skilled he is. And his brother, they're both young as well. I think like 26 and 25, something around those sort of ages. And, you know, they're both going to go like so far. I mean, I know Ismail missed weight, but it happens. We've seen some of the best fighters ever miss weight. Notoriously, DC pulling on the towel to make like heavy. Yeah, we've seen.
Yeah, but we just let him off the front because of how iconic it is.
So it's bad. He lost the fight because of it. Michelle wasn't interested in taking that fight, but yeah, I mean, this card did take a lot of hits, and the main event felt like the biggest hit. 4 a.m. here in the UK, watching all 5 rounds of that. God, that was terrible.
Yeah.
And I just want to start off by saying I think they should feed Joelinton Almeida to like Pavlovich no matter what happens.
Feed him to someone where he can't just hold him.
Because in my opinion, you've got Mount for probably like 10 minutes.
I think the whole fight. No, I think he had in the whole fight. I think it was something like minutes. It was ridiculous. He beat the record. Yeah. He beat the all-time record for it, didn't he?
And the ref telling you to work when you're in Mount just should never happen.
No,
it might just an awful main event. What were your thoughts, Virgil?
Disappointing.
Yeah,
really disappointing. Jailton Almeida, I thought he was going to get finished by Derek Lewis. I think you called something similar, and I think that if you're going to grapple and wrestle like that, excellent wrestling, by the way, really high level wrestling, but you have to do something on the ground. Derek Lewis isn't somebody, with the exception maybe exploding up, which is unlikely when you're that high level of grappler. A lot of it's all technique.
Yeah.
It's all technique. I thought it was going to be too small, but technique has outshunned the size. The thing, when the referee's telling you to be active and you're in mount, when the referee's telling you to be active when you're in a dominant position, that's appalling, really. Yeah. And to think for a main event, fair enough, he won it. And in fairness, I can understand why you want to be cautious with Derek Lewis. I think that's Derek Lewis's first ever decision as well.
Maybe. Maybe 5th round decision. He's gone 3 rounds before.
I've heard them say, well, first ever 5 round. 5 round.
Yeah.
And it's just very boring to watch. Like, you know, the wrestling was good. The jiu-jitsu, though, I mean, you need to at least attempt to sub a bit harder. You need to be a bit more offensive on the ground. And what he was doing, he was landing these strikes, but wasn't anything which was going to put him out.
It's crazy, isn't it? Because like Derek Lewis he's one of them people where he'll either excite the hell out of you or he just won't be able to. Yeah. He won't, and we see he'll try, but it just won't happen because he's had one of the other stinkiest fights I think I've ever watched as well. The Ngannou one, where I think they threw about 7 punches the whole fight. Yeah. It was one of the most. It was one of the most poor performances I've seen from both of them fighters ever.
I think he's got a win over Ngannou, who just beat Tyson Fury. So is Derek Lewis the best boxer?
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's brilliant.
Another thing I want to bring up. Do you guys know the meme of like the fat black man on Breaking Bad laying on the stack of money?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I saw this meme and it's like Derek Lewis during this fight and it's just the guy laid on his back on the big stack of money the whole time.
On Derek Lewis's old Instagram, I think he posted that himself.
Yeah, probably.
I think he posted it himself on the Beast UFC, which I'm pretty sure it got taken down eventually.
I think that's just a class meme because Derek Lewis earns a lot of money. And he was just chilling on his back the whole time. I saw Islam Makhachev tweeted saying, all Derek Lewis needs now is a pillow and he can take a nap right there. So that just kind of describes what this fight was. I think we've got to make jokes and laugh about it because we can't
sit and break a fight down like that. It was domination from one side and there's nothing else really to say about it, so
I think
we got to have a laugh.
There was a couple moments later on in the rounds where Derek Lewis almost reversed the position and landed a few decent shots.
Yeah.
We didn't actually get to see much of it because the new BT Discovery app over here is trash.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's not very good in England right now. It's
I don't know.
Very laggy.
I don't know how our Wi-Fi will be lagging at 4 a.m.
No, it's not. I think it is because there's been complaints about it as well all over Twitter.
And it went down as well during the Ngannou fight as well. Crashed out. I'm not enjoying that at the moment, making it hard to watch.
Yeah. Why does everyone always try to complicate stuff? Because BT had such a sweet little thing.
Yeah.
It worked. The majority of the time, it was perfect. And then they moved to Discovery.
I'm sure we'll piss off the Americans though by and they're paying $90 pay per
Yeah, at least. Yeah, but they get to sit and watch the whole thing, whereas ours keeps breaking up and lagging, so they'd complain too if they had to deal with it.
But a few moments in the fifth round, was there any moment watching it, Fergal, that you thought Derek Lewis might turn it around?
Only in hope.
Yeah.
Only in my head. Nothing which is actually happening. Just thinking like maybe if I glue my eyes, he might get up. It wasn't ever going to happen.
No.
There was one round where he came out. And fourth round I think it was, and he reversed. No, I think it was the fifth. And he reversed, or he stopped a takedown. He got taken down eventually, but he stopped the takedown and landed a couple shots, and then got taken down straight away. That gave me hope for like 2 or 3 seconds.
Yes. Or maybe I'm slowing down, but
nope.
And just last thing on this fight, the Brazilian fans left when Glover Teixeira had lost his retirement fight while he was doing his speech, yet they stayed and cheered for Almeida for fucking 20 minutes afterwards, which, just got on a little nerve of mine for some reason. But overall, great card. Well, not great card, but great sort of crowd. I love that vibe they bring. I think we need to get into next week's main card because there's a lot to talk about.
Let me say, this UFC 295 is such a stacked card. I mean, the co-main could be the main.
Definitely.
Maybe not with VC fighting, but it could be potentially. Every fight on this card is going to be sick on the main card. Every single fight. And starting off, we've got Diego Lopez. He had a couple of fights in the UFC. He's fighting Pat Sabatini.
Yeah. Diego Lopez has done nothing but impress me since he joined the UFC. I think he took a short notice fight against Evloev and took him to a very close decision. It's a great matchup.
So far, the only thing that I haven't looked impressed about with him is his haircut.
Literally. I think that sort of gives him a certain look, remembrance.
It's remembrance. You're certainly not going to forget a mullet that is also got the beaver swing.
Overall, it's sort of a grappler versus grappler matchup. If on the feet, I don't actually know who wins. Diego Lopez hasn't shown much on the feet since he joined the UFC.
I like on the feet though, because when he does fight on the feet, he's very aggressive. He pushes, and he doesn't necessarily always look to take you to the ground. For somebody who's as good as grappling, he's not looking to shoot. He's not looking to take you to the ground. He gets into the ground, and when he does do bits. But he's just a heavy striker. His boxing, he throws nothing but power shots, and he's in your face constantly.
I think he prefers to bait him in and then pull on him more than anything, because I think he prefers being off his back on the ground. If anything, we've seen him do it a couple of times
against Evloev. There was a couple of times he kind of pulled and fell onto his back, and the sort of submission he gets is so crazy with his submission offense. They're going for knee bars, triangles, arm bars, just He doesn't stop scrambling, and I think Pat Sabatini may struggle to deal with just that level of pace from someone because Sabatini is probably the better wrestler here. Do you think?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, he's very strong.
Yeah.
Very strong.
So it'll be interesting to see Sabatini if he falls into any traps or does kind of just keep that top pressure. He's got a lot of submission wins himself. Yeah, I know who I'm kind of leaning this one. How do you think this one kind of plays out for him?
So I think Pat Sabatini, I feel like looking at how he fights normally, he tends to shoot very early in the fight. It's usually within the first minute. It's definitely within the first round. And I don't think on the feet he's going to want to exchange too much. His striking's okay, but I can't say it's as good as Diego's from what I've seen anyway. I think he shoots for the takedown, and I think we see a lot of grappling. With Pat, when he does take you down, he's not necessarily looking to submit you initially. He is very submission offensive, but he'll wear you down, and he'll strike, and he'll go for it. You look at Diego Lopez, his last win was it triangle?
Yeah.
From the shoot.
Against Gavin Tucker as well.
Yeah, that is a very good win.
So it's interesting. Hopefully we'll see lots of high-level jiu-jitsu, although I imagine there'll be a lot of striking and a lot of jiu-jitsu, just a lot of striking from Sabatini, a lot of jiu-jitsu from Lopez. Like you said about baiting him in, I could see that potentially happening, although the way Sabatini shoots, you don't really see it. It just happens.
Yeah.
And that double leg as well, like your legs aren't... Yeah. Literally, you tie your legs together. So it should be a really interesting one. If he can potentially catch him on the shoot, then I could see... I don't know if it'll be an instant submission, but I think that there'll be a lot of... he'll work his way towards it. But overall, it's just a really exciting fight.
I'll get anything to add, Harry, on this one?
I would love to see because they've both got the submission game, they've both got the ground game. I'd love to see a full on like jiu-jitsu transitioning all over the place, exciting, just back and forth between the both of them. However, I think I'm probably going to go either one or two ways. I think either Sabatini will just be able to hold him and like overpower him a little bit, or I think he'll get caught in a quick submission.
I think I'm leaning one way on this one because Sabatini is a good wrestler, but we saw what Evelev couldn't hold. I forgot his name. My mind's gone blank.
Diego Lopez.
Yeah, Diego. Yeah. Sorry, he couldn't hold Diego Lopez down and control him. And we've seen him control Dan Ige on the ground. Evelev, he's a dominant sort of Dagestani style wrestler, and he couldn't control Lopez at all. So Sabatini, in my opinion, will struggle to do that. And I'm going to go ahead. I'm going second round submission.
Okay, I'm going to go. See, I don't know. I could see. I feel like the defense though. Because if you look at a lot of people Diego Lopez is fighting, yeah, fair enough. He had that good. He had like his submission his last time out, but I feel like his ground game, his ground defense might be a bit too much. I think there's going to be a lot of grappling. I think it's going to be a decision. I think it's going to go Lopez, but I'm going to go Lopez decision.
What about you, Harry?
I don't think it'll quite make a decision. I do want to lean towards the submission, the quick sub. Like I think. Especially because of how heavy Figgy holds himself on you.
Yeah.
Like I think that he'll find a way to fucking get his leg up or something and just get it done. However, if Pat can hold him down, it's going to be a long day for Lopez, and we haven't seen a lot of his defense. Fergal is right.
So you going Lopez?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I'm going Lopez.
Yeah. Next one, probably maybe Fight of the Night. There's a lot of bangers on this card. Matt Verro against Benoit Saint Denis. This has just got banger written all over
It's
it.
my favourite fight on the card, I think. And that says something because I love every fighter on this card.
I mean, Benoit Saint Denis last time out, it was in France, the crowd was wild, and he just lived up to that hype and took that moment with both hands and absolutely put it on Thiago Moises, butchered him. Moises didn't look the same after that fight. Blood everywhere. He got that Aleski dos Santos beat down back, and he put it on Moises. So
if you didn't know that he was a French special ops before that fight, you definitely did afterwards.
I mean, this guy's gone through torture therapy training and stuff, so he is just built for this life. Matt Favola, though, first guy to knock out Drew Dober. I think he might have been the first guy to beat Otman Azatara and knock him out in the first round as well. Benoit does leave himself open in certain exchanges. Fergal, how do you see this?
So this could potentially be fight of the night. I think this is going to result in a finish. Personally, I think Benoit Saint Denis, like you said, he leaves himself open in exchanges. His striking is very fast, it's very clinical, but like you said, he leaves himself open, and I think that's something which Matt Frivola is really good at utilising.
Yeah.
These openings. He's really I think it's his left hand.
Yeah.
His left hand.
The left hook.
left
again.
left hook, yeah.
Oh god, it was nasty.
That is so nasty.
Dropped over on his face.
I think like you look at the momentum as well. He's won his last 3 fights by finish or TKO within the first round.
Yeah.
And the way he strikes as well, he's clever with it. He doesn't look to take loads and loads of damage. His movement as well. It's so interesting to watch. It's so bouncy and energetic. I think looking at this one, Benoit Saint Denis could put anyone out. And it's not something which you can't underestimate. And we all know how good Benoit Saint Denis is. He's either on a tear, and you can also see how tough he is as well.
Yeah.
You know, that toughness. He had a very, very poor.
Leslie dos Santos fight.
Yeah.
Awful refereeing.
Like that should have been stopped. You know.
That was a hard one to watch.
But so like, I watched a Matt Frivola fight, and he shot his opponent like 5 times.
Yeah, I think I remember that one.
Yeah. How that was allowed. I mean, to be fair, he was still like he wasn't defending himself. But he was getting up. I think with this one here, I think that he just leaves himself a bit too open. But what would be interesting is to see if he takes him to the ground, to see if this takes place on the ground, because that can make it very different. I don't think that's going to happen in this fight. I can't see there being loads of grappling. I'm going to go with a Matt Frivola finish. I think he's going to catch him. I'm going to go. I could be first round. It could very possibly be first round. It could be second round though. I'm going to go second round finish.
Oh, I like
that. I really like that.
I don't know if I agree.
I like that call, and I would love to see it happen. However, after what we've seen from Saint Denis in that division, the only thing I keep discarding it myself as well. Like the last 2 people that Frivola has fought, like you said earlier, Drew Dober and Azatar, and he knocked both of them out
in the first round,
and they've both never been knocked out before. I'm not too sure about Azatar, but I don't think he has.
12-0.
Yeah, I don't think he has. Yeah. So that is the only thing I keep discarding. But Saint Denis will just walk through anything.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't care. He will just keep coming at you and coming at you and coming at you. He's going to have to sleep him to put him off.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we saw what he took against Leslie dos Santos, and I'm pretty sure Leslie dos Santos was finished Sean Strickland. He's finished so many good fighters. It's such an elite striker with heavy, heavy hands. Matt Frivola, being able to finish Drew Dober. I mean, we see Drew Dober's chin on display almost every time he fights. Within the Bobby Green fight, just getting pieced up for the first round, come back, knocks him out. Terence McKinney is one of the craziest first round comebacks you will ever see. And McKinney just comes up and starts lighting him up with head kicks, knees, dropping him all over the place. Drew Dober recovers and knocks him out. And Frivola put him down with one of the most brutal left hooks you'll see. And you know, Drew Dober did sort of stay alive, and the credit to him.
Yeah, considering how hard he got hit, and when he went down, he looked like he was down, like he was out. But like instantly, it was just straight back to his wits. Like had his wits about him. He did wobble when he stood back up, but it wasn't for long at all. He was. They could have kept that fight going if you had a poor ref.
He probably would have got murdered. But...
Yeah, he would have got murdered. But if you had a poor ref, that fight would have been could have kept going.
What's your prediction?
Drop on me like that, Jesus. I've just purely because of what we've seen Saint Denis, and there's not much we've seen. We've seen people as hard, like that hit just as hard as Frivola, hit him in the head, and him just walk forward through all of it. So I'm probably going to say a decision to Saint Denis, because I don't think he's knocking Matt out.
No, I think as well. I'm kind of leaning that way. The matchmakers have done us a wonderful thing here, because I see this being a 3-round.
I want war. Yeah, 3-round war. I want this to be a fight of the year. It's got the potential written all over it.
And I'm going to go with you. I'm going to go Saint Denis decision, just because I think he'll mix in the takedowns too.
I say that, but I would like Matt to win. I'd like
So,
both of them to win.
I
Is there
like
an
the
opportunity?
same
Is
thing.
there a way that both of them can win, please?
The draw,
Do a double
finally.
knockout, double knockout, please.
But Benoit Saint Denis is just an animal, and Judo Matt Favola does not take he might take a step back, but we'll see him jump and Superman punch you off the cage, and he's just going for the kill at all moments. Both fighters have a similar killer instinct.
He utilises that Superman punch so well.
Yeah, against
as well.
Dover, he hit
It's
him
one of
like
these.
3
It's one of
times.
the cleanest. It's one of the cleanest Superman punches I've ever seen. I think.
But I'm gonna edge. I mean, Matt Favola could very well just knock down another guy who seems like he can't be knocked out and finish him because, you know, he does leave himself open. But
And it seems to be exactly what Matt does as well.
Yeah, he's just a G. So this fight I'm just so excited for. But I'm gonna lean Benoit decision.
I reckon he's got some new power, Matt.
Yeah.
But last 3 fights, he's just developed this heavyweight power.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not heavyweight.
No, I
but
see your point there.
Yeah, he has got that power. He has got the power to do it. We've seen him do it against 2 people that everyone thought was unstoppable. So, like to be knocked out anyway.
Next fight, Ferg, Jessica Andrade, Mackenzie Dern. Do you see any way maybe Jessica Andrade can get her career back on track here?
I personally don't think this is a good fight for Andrade. I think that this is a Mackenzie Dern. I think it's a comfortable win, if I'm honest with you. Jessica Andrade, we've seen her in the past, what she's capable of. But I think that's the past. You look at her recently, she has looked so poor. And that's not intended in a disrespectful manner at all, but she just doesn't seem like she has it in her. She's just, it's what was working for her doesn't work. And this new Mackenzie Dern, this aggressive, I don't think she's going to be able to cope with the pressure, if I'm honest with you. I know that historically she has done well, especially, you know, in these situations where the pressure has been applied. However, I don't think she'll be able to cope with it. The only thing which I think she may have over Dern is the clinch work.
And the power. Yeah.
But even then, just the grappling in general, Mackenzie Dern, great jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I don't know how much has to take place on the ground. I don't know if she'll be able to take her down, if I'm honest with you, because the wrestling just isn't really there unless she somehow draws her in. But I'm very confident on. I'm going to go with the Mackenzie Dern. I'm going to go decision. And that's how I'm going to go with this one. This one I'm pretty certain on.
Yeah, Jessica Andrade does have the skill set to win this fight, in my opinion, because Mackenzie Dern in this new style, like you mentioned, being the more aggressive sort of boxing style, she's realised maybe she can't wrestle. There's been a few fights where she struggled to get to the ground, so she's just barraging people, and she hits quite hard, to be fair.
She does hit very hard.
But, you know, there's going to be opportunities for Andrade to counter with a big shot.
I said this to you earlier. We were talking about it, and I literally said to you, like, the worst thing that Mackenzie could do is run at her with a barrage, especially if we see a Jessica Andrade that is any sort of level to what she has been in the past. Like, if she runs in at her throwing them shots, that could be a long day for her, because Jessica Andrade loves it when people run at her and get in the pocket. She'll just slip and fucking throw massive hooks, overhands. She's got a mean overhand as well.
I think you look at this as well, and it's back, in my opinion, where she fights best. Women's strawweight division. I think she's been a two-time champion in this weight class. Obviously got the big win over Rose, slamming her on her head.
Yeah,
and,
that was nuts.
Back at this weight class fighting, you know, her last fight was against Tatiana Suarez, who might be one of the greatest female grapplers to ever fight in the UFC by the end of her career. She's really got potential to be like a 2-division champ. Tatiana Suarez looks that good, so, you know, she's still fighting the top level competition, and Mackenzie Dern being maybe a step down from that level of competition. I think there's a small chance we see Jessica Andrade kind of look like the old Jessica Andrade, because she switches up with power punches to the body, to the head. She can hurt you from anywhere. She's probably not. She might get taken down. Mackenzie Dern can submit you in the clinch as well. I mean, I can't remember what fight it was, but for like almost the whole round, she had her in like some weird Kimura against the cage. I wish I could. It was Oh God, I really can't remember what it was. It might have been the Marina Rodriguez fight or one of those sort of fights. But it was a very close decision, and it really showed that she can submit you from anywhere. So that might be how it goes. But I think I'm going to go with Fo. I think I'm going to go Mackenzie Dern decision. I'm really unsure about this fight. Just I think this level of women's MMA sometimes is harder to call as well, but I'm going to go Mackenzie Dern.
Yeah, I'm probably going to have to agree with that as well. Although I don't know about a decision. She could finish Andrade. Andrade could finish her. Like I said, this that's a hard one to call because you don't know what their game plan's gonna be going into it.
Yeah,
You really don't. Especially consider it like Andrade has probably been training defense for the takedowns, like pretty much her whole camp. I would guarantee that.
And she's she's been in the UFC for a decade, so she's going to be good at defending takedowns.
Yeah, and she's still going to be training that pretty much every day if she's coming up against Mackenzie Dern because of how wrestle heavy she's been in the past. I really don't know, but yeah, I'm swaying towards Mackenzie as well.
Yeah. Another English guy fighting for the title. Feels like really starting to push our way into the sport finally.
Finally. It's taken a long time.
I know a lot of people don't see these interim title fights as sort of the main title, but when, John Jones is quite old, he's out for almost a year now.
And we need a champ.
I think, there's got to be a champ. We saw Yuri and and Hill, they just took the belt. I know they gave the belt away, but the division needs to move on. So in my eyes, these are the two best heavyweights in the division.
Yeah,
they'll be fighting for the belt, and it's a crazy fight. I'm so nervous for it. What do you think, Vogel?
So this fight is so interesting. It's hard to call because there are so many ways to play out this and the main event. In all fairness, with Sergey, his power is that uppercut and that what you called it jab uppercut earlier, or that that uppercut straight or whatever it is. Corkscrew punch. It's absolutely lethal, and Sergey is a very tough guy. Tom Aspinall, he finishes the opponent so quickly.
Yeah,
he does. I think something which Tom may potentially have over Sergey, or not necessarily over Sergey, because Sergey isn't slow at all. He's not a slow striker at all.
He's quick.
He's very fast. Tom, a lot of the opponents Sergey's fought, a lot of them want to kind of stand and bang, and whether that's because they have to, because sometimes you're going to have to, or whether that's because these are heavyweights, they love it. Something Tom's good at is his movement is rapid. Like he moves his agility. For somebody who's fighting at heavyweight, there aren't many heavyweights which have that level of agility, and it's a different kind of movement to Cyril Gane. It's not the same kind of technical kind of calculated. It's calculated, but it's not. It's more like so it's totally textbook, if you know what I mean.
It's kind of not really, but because it's not a side on, but kind of like karate, like the way it's in and out, like bouncy on the toes, in and out. It's not really similar to that Wonder Boy style, but at the same time, you just turn a bit more square on and you're pretty much there. So
he looks like he's fighting how welterweights and lightweights fight, and lighter even, and it's interesting because I think that this is something which is going to potentially cause Sergey issues. Sergey, he will just throw and throw and throw, and he plants his feet.
Yeah, he does.
To think that
you're on sometimes too.
To think if you're going to plant your feet square on against Tai Tuivasa and Lewis,
I'm not getting knocked out doing it.
Then you have to have some confidence, and you have to have the skill and the chin to be able to take that. Sergey 18-1. It's a hard one really. He's on such a tear.
That one loss against Overeem debut, short notice as well. So. But let's be real, the way Overeem won was by taking him down, and he put him out past his guard very easily. That was like 6 years ago now, but I think that's the way to victory for Tom, or the easiest path. How worried are you for this one, Harry?
Very worried. I think Tom is quite a lot quicker. He's the quicker fighter. I think that's quite obvious. I'm not saying Pavlovich is slow. Especially when he strikes, he's just very patient and conservative. But that's scary as well because he's waiting for Tom to run in, and that means Tom loves bouncing in, getting his few bits off, bouncing back out again. It's whether he can get out quick enough. Yeah. For me, because Pavlovich is not someone you want to get hit by. And Tom doesn't hold his hands high either.
No, he can leave his chin in the air. Yeah. It's an interesting point you bring up that, Pavlovich will wait, and as soon as you get in, he just loves to explode, and he'll throw like a 10-punch combination sometimes. He will not stop until you just drop to the floor. And that's such a dangerous thing for a guy like Tom, who does leave his chin kind of open. We saw him even against Tybura in his last fight, kind of get clipped by quite a heavy shot when he was exiting from one of those big explosions. I think he stepped in with a straight right and got caught with a big left hook. And if that's
Pavlovich landing,
if that's Pavlovich, it's good night.
It's a really big vulnerability to have, isn't it? Like,
it is. Leaving your chin up's the worst thing you could possibly do for a stand-up striker.
It's one of these things that it's not something which we've probably seen loads of, but you look at Volkan Makhachev, it was that one vulnerability which finished him very quickly, and it could be the same. The grappling, though, like it's about Overeem. I mean, short notice, but something which Tom is good at. He's very versatile. Obviously, we're seeing him finish a lot of opponents in the first round, some of them as well. But we're not seeing loads and loads and loads of wrestling and grappling, and this is something which could you say a sub maybe?
Yeah, I mean, that's the way I'm leaning, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Tom, he has the capabilities to win this fight by knockout.
Yeah, he has the capability to beat anyone in that heavyweight division.
By knockout as well.
Definitely. By anything, knockouts or sub, he could probably do that too. Well, maybe not anyone, but the majority of them in the heavyweight division. Yeah.
I mean, he's been around this MMA scene since he was a small child. He was teaching adult jiu-jitsu classes at the age of 14, so that shows, he's been on that map for so long. I think he's a black belt in BJJ. His dad was one of the first ever black belts in England, so he comes from a family of great BJJ practitioners. A lot of his family, very good fighters in Poland as well. He is sort of an ideal fighter made for this sort of moment, and I think Pavlovich, probably the most dangerous fighter in that heavyweight division now. Definitely the most dangerous fighter in that division now. Ngannou's left, and Tom taking this fight on 2 weeks' notice, I think he's gonna really shock the world. And I'm gonna say he's gonna make it kind of look easy, and that's not because I think he's so much better than Pavlovich. I think if Pavlovich wins, he'll make it look easy too, because these guys, one of them's just gonna smoke each other, and that's how I see it going.
Yeah, I agree with you.
We might see it leave the first round. Both of them, two of the best fighters each other has ever fought by far, so that can it might start slow, but what are the chances of it leaving the first round, though, would you think?
I don't think they exist,
no.
if I'm honest with you. I just think that there's too much potential for either to get finished from the first 5 minutes. It would be interesting to see, but I just think that these two fighters, I can't see any. Maybe if Tom takes him to the ground.
Yeah.
I think that's when you could see it. And in my head, I'm just thinking of heavy striking. That's all I'm thinking about. So if it does leave the first round, then that would be sick.
Yeah, I do want to see that.
In my opinion, that's what you just said is the smartest thing for Tom to do. And that would be my game plan going in there if I was Tom Aspinall. Just get in on him and take him down and grind on him. Maybe get a sub.
Yeah.
Because I can't see Pavlovich being able to deal with Tom on the ground. Whereas if Tom bounces in with his chin open, Pavlovich will take it off.
It's just dangerous to go for a takedown against Pavlovich and uppercut.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can get the takedown faster than he can for an uppercut, then
Tom is so quick. The takedown that led to the submission of Volkov. He leans back and slips a front kick. Leans back forward, slips the jab into a double leg takedown and subs him straight away.
Yeah,
you do not see that at heavyweight ever in the UFC.
Oh, no. Cormier was probably the last time we saw it, and even then they were pretty sloppy.
Cormier being one of the more athletic heavyweights. He blew his back out sneezing. This is the sort of guys we're dealing with here. Pavlovich also is not one of them guys, though. He's extremely athletic. I saw a video of him on
massive as well, isn't he? He's huge. So big, man.
I saw a video of him under a bridge on some beach somewhere, smashing pads with his coach, and I had to double check and make sure I wasn't sped up because how fast his hand speed is. It's crazy.
That's what it is so shocking, because earlier I said to you before I watched some of the fights back, I said he just seems slow to me.
Yeah, he does.
But then I rewatched a couple of his fights, and it's not the fact that he looks slow, that he's slow. It's the fact that he's just so patient and conservative. Like I said, he will just wait for you.
Yeah,
he will just wait for his opportunity and then explode with a 9-10 punch combination.
Yeah, and I think his last fight against Curtis Blades was the perfect example. He didn't mind exchanging with Blades. I think let's not
Blades, that was a dumb fight for Blades.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you wrestle, man? Why wouldn't you wrestle?
Curtis Blades all over.
Yeah.
But, let's not blast over the fact that Pavlovich don't mind taking punches on the chin either. I mean, he gets hit clean too. So Tom has a serious chance of winning this fight either way. But by any chance, Pavlovich, I think, is the favourite going into it. Let's just give our predictions. What do you think?
So I want Tom to win, obviously. I think Pavlovich, I think he either catches him on the takedown or I think he finishes him early. I think that it's, like you said, it's the hardest opponent he's fought. And we need a new heavyweight champion. But I feel like you want to go Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you might go Tom as well. I'm going to go with Sergey. I'm going to say I think he's going to finish him. I think that as fast as Tom is, I just think that he will have been training for Tom to be shooting for that takedown. This is something he's been working on. He's working on every possible.
To be fair though, he's only had 2 weeks to train for Tom. Tom's stepping in short notice.
But 2 weeks though, if you have the tools there.
Who's stepping in short notice?
Tom
is. Who was supposed to be fighting then?
I mean, he was the backup for the Stipe John Jones fights.
Right, okay,
so both
of them then, they've only
no,
had 2 weeks.
but he was called up to be the backup fighter, so he would have been in camp just in case anything happened.
Right, I see.
I do just feel like though, when you have the tools and you're just working on your general game plan, he knows to watch out for it and he knows what to do because it's all to do with that uppercut. It's all to do with the steps it takes. I can't see him throwing any big kicks. It's all in his boxing, and I think that's gonna either catch him on the takedown or Tom's gonna step in, and because it's so clean and it's so accurate and he sees every hole. So I want Tom to win, but I'm gonna go Sergey first round finish.
Oh, do you want to go next?
No, you go next. Go on then. Let's hear what you've got. Let's see what your prediction is then.
I think Tom is gonna be kind of, he's gonna be light on his feet early on. He's gonna be feinting those for me, he's gonna even be feinting to grab a single leg.
Yeah.
And I think that's gonna lead to Tom landing a big shot on the feet. And I was thinking Tom submission, but I think he's gonna get Pavlovich worried enough about the takedown where he's just gonna blast in, beat Pavlovich to the big punch. And Tom's going to prove how hard he is because everyone's talking about Pavlovich. Tom has a shorter fight time than Pavlovich. He's gone out and smoked people. Maybe smoking Volkov's better than smoking Derek Lewis and Tuivasa. Volkov's a real technical kickboxer. I know he took him down.
He's probably harder to knock out as well.
I know he took him down, but either way, he had the sort of speed to get in on the hips that early, slipping shots, making it look easy, and he's made everyone look easy, just like Pavlovich.
Actually, no, I disagree with that. I take that statement back. He's definitely not easier to knock out than Tuivasa or.
Well, maybe
Tuivasa can be a dog, man. Derek Lewis, maybe.
Yeah.
Tuivasa, he's a dog.
But I think Tom's gonna catch him before he gets caught.
See, I'm in two minds. I kind of agree with you. However, I do think if Tom wins, it will be a sub. Right. I do. He might wobble him and then. Yeah. Like we've seen him do it before.
Yeah.
He tends to like doing that. However, there's still a little inkling in the back of my head that tells me that Pavlovich is just going to spark him.
Yeah, I mean,
and I hate that because I'm a massive Tom fan.
I think that
I gutted when you lot went to watch him and I couldn't come.
I think that inkling for me is the Andrei Arlovski fight that Tom had because he was getting caught in the pocket by Andrei Arlovski, which is an older guy, obviously still a very good fighter, but. Maybe he was just more comfortable.
Now, 44,
and maybe he was just more comfortable standing in the pocket with an older guy like that. He's not going to do that with Pavlovich at all. I think that he's just in my opinion, he's the smartest heavyweight on the planet, except for John Jones. I sounded really Somerset then, didn't I? Except for John Jones, and he's the quickest heavyweight on the planet. I think that's how he wins this fight. So I'm going Tom.
Okay.
What about you?
I'm going Pavlovich. I don't think it'd be first round though. I reckon second.
Yeah, fair enough.
I reckon they will make it out the first, if I'm honest.
Big fight, massive light heavyweight fight.
Pavlovich has a chin.
Yeah, he does. We haven't seen Tom's either.
No, we haven't seen much of Tom's chin, and Pavlovich is known to just take shots on the end of the nose. Walks into it.
We could talk about this fight all night, but I'm going to move it on.
Yeah, we've got
the main event.
we?
Alex Pereira, Yuri Prochazka. Alex Pereira coming off just being introduced into the Glory Hall of Fame, being middle. I think that maybe even maybe was he heavyweight champion at light heavyweight, or maybe he was middleweight and light heavyweight. But you know, two elite kickboxers. Yuri maybe a bit stranger on the feet, but this one's got banger written all over it.
This one has an early one for me. This has an early finish for me written on it. I really do like. It could play out a different way. I think Yuri would be dumb not to grapple here. However, Alex is also apparently a very good grappler.
Yeah,
we haven't seen much
quick.
of it though.
He's improving quick.
Yeah, we haven't seen much of it though, so I don't know.
I'm dying to get your opinion on this one, Ferg.
So this one is it's hard because I don't know how to call this. I quite literally don't. I feel like we look at a lot of fighters which has Alex Pereira's fought so far in the UFC. A lot of them are stylistically they're very well known. They fight a certain way. They're all relatively to an extent. I mean, I know that you could argue that Israel Adesanya isn't super orthodox, but they're all relatively. They're all you know exactly. They're strikers, and you know exactly kind of how they fight. And with Yuri, you might understand how he fights roughly. I mean, he has got certain traits in his fighting style, such as he fights with his head back.
Yeah.
But with his hands at his shorts, and it's like I don't understand whether I mean I can understand why they're low, but it's not very protective. It's something which he does is that he takes a lot of shots, and he's proven that he's got a chin, but a chin against Alex Pereira
is a nightmare.
The grappling would be interesting. I can't imagine that Yuri's not going to shoot. I can't.
I think Yuri will shoot too, but
I think he'll try to implicate it some way, but to what extent I don't know.
There's a big chance that he doesn't shoot.
There is a big
but I feel his leg will get so chewed up that he'll start shooting probably. You are right.
Yeah. I think it's more going to be a matter of trying to wear him down really. Because you got to think, if you're shooting, it just kind of throws the fight a bit. Because Alex Pereira, the way he fights, he's like a Terminator really. Yeah. It's all very much he's a machine. Like he's literally just a machine, and he's not doing anything super fancy or anything, but it's the basics, better than the basics,
and
the best.
Extreme power too.
Extreme power and accuracy as well. Everything he throws really cleanly. With Yuri, he does leave himself open, which is a cause of concern. However, his movement is very, very good. Whether it's good enough to evade a big kick from Alex Pereira, I'm not too sure. But overall, it's a hard one to call really. I'm gonna go with. I think Pereira's gonna put him out. If I'm honest, we look at Pereira, the people he's finished. We don't ever really see. We haven't seen a lot of these guys get finished by anyone really, other than Pereira.
Yeah.
And something as well to bear in mind is Pereira's chin. It's not superb, like it's not amazing. Like it's definitely an opportunity to finish him there. So it's hard to call, but I just think Pereira's gonna. I think he's just too good. If I'm honest with you.
What's your thoughts, Harry?
I just want to point out they're quite similar. It's quite a similar matchup. Both the co-main and the main. They're both quite similar matchups. One very patient and quite I wouldn't say Pavlovich is as technical as Alex Pereira, but very, very patient and conserved and waits for the right time to throw his shots and stuff like that. And then you've got someone who's very bouncy. I would say Tom's obviously a lot less wild, but very bouncy and energetic. Yeah. So they're quite similar matchups. However, this one's a little different again because Alex is a Terminator, like Fergal said, absolute Terminator, and Yuri's a wild man. Yeah. So it's another hard one to call, but it's got a different atmosphere to it about this fight than the co-main.
Airy feel.
Yeah, it's an eerie feel.
I think you make a really good point in the fact that it's kind of a similar matchup because I don't think you mean it as in like.
No, their fighting styles aren't the same, but like the way they like to conserve their energy and patience and pick their shots and shit like that, and their time to take their shots.
I don't think you mean patience in a way like they're not throwing like minimal punches around, but they throw not little, but they throw hard punches that will break you down so quickly that you're not there for the long game. Like you'll be finished by We've seen Pereira obviously the Izzy fights went a bit longer, but we saw against Izzy, especially in their their second fight in MMA. By the second round, he almost had Izzy at a point where he was breaking
Ready to,
him.
yeah, he was ready to break, yeah.
And I think there's a very good chance he can do that to Yuri too. If he doesn't, he to see his defense isn't great for the level kickboxer.
You'd probably say he's got a better chance doing it to Yuri than he did Adesanya. Maybe.
I just think there's a much higher chance Yuri catches him early.
Yeah, it was the legs that broke Adesanya down, and Adesanya's got some skinny ass little legs on it.
Yeah, and Alex Pereira's got one of the nastiest calf kicks you'll see, and that's going to be a big part in this.
I reckon he's been kicking bamboo for the last 15 years.
You see him running around in that Amazon rainforest all the time, shooting bow and arrows, and I don't know if it's actually the Amazon, but rainforest.
It's all attached to that area.
I think I'm going Alex too, and I think I'm going to go. I think it's going to be that big left hook that he's knocked so many people out.
It's almost a signature move for him at this point.
It is, definitely. Or maybe even you mentioned the head kick, but I could see the jumping knee. Yuri kind of drops his head at weird points. He leans into punches. He does that thing where he always grabs his front glove.
Yeah, he before he throws as well, and it's like you're telling him you're about to punch him.
I would not be surprised if Alex just leaps up with that.
Alex
knee.
reads everything. He is one of them people that his eyes are everywhere. It doesn't matter. Like he will. If you're gonna throw it, there's very little chance he's not gonna see it.
And the only reason I'm picking Alex is just because he's a bit more technical, and I think you can't leave yourself open like Yuri does against a kickboxer with the power of Alex Pereira. And I'm going to go Alex. I'm going to go third round TKO.
I think I agree with you on the head, actually. Like, hit the nail on the head there, I think. Third round TKO.
Not major news. Anything to talk about, really. Chelson and Masvidal going at each other.
I reckon they should both get back in the octagon and have it out.
Apparently they can talk.
I would love it, mate. Although Chell would just say that he won via broken toe or something.
You know, let's be real, Chell would just hold him down.
Yeah. Unless Masvidal just knocked him out like he did Askren, and that'd be jokes.
I can't stand
I love Chell, and I can't stand Masvidal, but Masvidal's done some pretty sick shit for this sport.
So, Bo, I'm guessing, Bo, you haven't seen any of this beef.
No, I've not seen it as yet, Nick.
So I want to just read you a couple of the tweets that Chelson's been sort of tweeting at him. Let's see some of my favourite ones. There's so many good ones.
So many good ones.
Masvidal tweets him saying, "Let's see if you'll say this stuff to my face." And Chelson replies saying, Considering I don't spend any time in county jails, homeless shelters, or methadone labs, I doubt we'll be bumping into each other anytime soon." He also tweets at him, "Did you go to the car dealership to get that dent Kamaru Usman pulled out your head? I wasn't sure if they just replaced your whole face." Just crazy stuff they're going at each other for.
Yeah, Chell is possibly still to this day the king of trash talk as well. He's the one that paved the way for all the Conor McGregors and all the other people that love their trash talk.
Yeah, no, the actual tweet was, "Since I don't spend much time in county jails, homeless shelters, methadone centres, or dodgy unlicensed outdoor barbershops, it's unlikely we'll bump into each other anytime soon."
Just so smart.
Yeah. I mean, this guy's one of the greatest shit talkers we've ever seen, and I think Masvidal going at him wasn't the smartest idea, and we've seen that on Twitter.
No, what's Masvidal doing, man? Just go and relax. Go chill with your kids and your wife, and have a nice retirement, for Christ's sake.
I love that.
Beefing with everyone all the time.
I mean, he's got the big bare knuckle MMA thing going. Just stick to that. Maybe fight Chow in that. Let's just.
Is he fighting it?
He's coming. I don't know if. I think he's coming back for a boxing match.
Okay.
You know, I just thought I'd bring that. I just thought it was funny.
It is a funny thing.
Just Chael Sonnen there.
Yeah,
exactly. It's typical Chael Sonnen. But it's nice to know that he's got to be he's got to be pushing 50, maybe even pushing 60 for Christ's sake, and he's still cracking these jokes that people have just retired.
Yeah, honestly, just a crazy world it'll be if them two end up fighting. But you know, there's been some big fight announcements. We'll get into them when the card's coming up, because you know everything just flies by so quick in the UFC.
Yeah, nowadays it's just the months pass by like flies.
But that's all we've got to talk about for today. We're all going to enjoy this card this weekend. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode of the Combat Chats podcast. Rate us 5 stars on Spotify. Share us around to your friends. That's how we'll grow. Thank you for listening.